Hello all, welcome to NetBook and welcome back to Mulesoft tutorials. Today I'm planning to talk about how we can publish a message in a queue using the Mulesoft. First of all, we need to understand what is this queue and what is this message. Message is something which is transforming between multiple applications, maybe from one system to another system, whatever the data it is going, that is as a message. And queue is something which stores that message for the particular time till that message consumed by somebody else. So for doing these activities, we have something called messaging services. The messaging services provide the services to exchange the data or exchange the message between the multiple applications. We have a lot of message providers, message service providers like IBM MQ, ActiveMQ, RabbitMQ. Like this, there are different applications which provide the messaging services. Today, I'm going to show how we can use ActiveMQ. It's one of the messaging service provider, which help us to store the messages and exchange the messages between multiple applications. This ActiveMQ is one of the popular open source messaging service which built on top of a Java. This ActiveMQ is designed for sending a messages between two or more applications. As I said, the messaging services help us to exchange the messages or data between multiple applications. And this ActiveMQ is going to support Java messaging services we call normally, which has two types. One is point to point and publish to subscribe. Point to point is something, one message, if you publish, one consumer can consume the same message. But when it is publish and subscribe, if you publish one message, multiple people can consume the same message. An example, if I send a mail to the particular person, it will only the particular person can consume that message or mail and read that mail. But imagine there is a Netflix. If the program is published into Netflix server, that can be consumed by multiple users at the same time. That means all the subscribers can watch the same video at the same time. So when exactly this messaging services is required? Whenever you want to guarantee delivery and reliability if you want it. In such a scenario, we use messaging services. An example, I want to send an email with some important document. There is a chance of network issues and maybe some issues. You should not lose the document while it is sending. In that case, you can keep that message in the message queue and can send it so that even though there is a failure, still it can be available in that queue and you can resend it. So using this JMS connector in Mulesoft, we can integrate with ActiveMQ and we have some of the common use cases like you can listen the new messages from the queue. You can put a message that is a publishing a new message in the queue and we can read a message from the queue that is a consuming a message and you can put a message and read it immediately by saying that it is successfully consumed or anything that is published and consumed. Such kind of scenarios are exist in the JMS connector. If you want to integrate with the ActiveMQ in MuleSoft, these are the steps you need to follow. First of all, you need to add a JMS dependency and then you need to create a global configuration for the JMS and then we need to drag and drop publish component in a flow and we need to set it in the queue name and what data you need to map, that details we need to map it using the data view code. So let's get started. I will be showing this demo directly. Let's go to AnyPoint Studio. I'm going to create a new project over here. Right click Mule project. I'm going to say sys messaging API and click on finish. And I'm going to add module. I have a Jms connector which I'm going to add as a dependency. That is the first step which I have mentioned in the document. The second step is you need to create a global configuration. Go to the global element, create, and I'm going to create Jms configuration for this ActiveMQ. At this time, you need to provide ActiveMQ client. What you need to do, these are the dependencies you need to add, configure, add recommended library, then automatically this dependency will be added into your pom.xml. Click on OK. So this will download and add it here. Similarly, ActiveMQ broker, configure, add recommended libraries, click on OK. And similarly, ActiveMQ KahaDB, same add libraries, adding that. These are the details we need to put it. The second thing what we need to do is we need to provide the factory connection details. I'm going to click on edit inline. Over here, I need to provide broker URL. If you want to get a broker URL, let me get it from the Google broker URL for ActiveMQ. Over here, you can see that TCP colon, this is the broker URL example, TCP colon localhost 61616. Wherever your ActiveMQ is running, that URL you need to provide over here. My ActiveMQ should be running in local. So as of now, I haven't started. Let me get started that. I'm going to go to this over here, terminal. I'm going to open a terminal and I have my ActiveMQ is under applications. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the CD applications ActiveMQ. This is the location which I'm going. CD bin also I can go. What I want to do is ActiveMQ space start. When I do this, my profile will be created. My process instance ID for ActiveMQ is started now. Now I can check that it is running or not. I can go to the localhost 8181. I'm going to log in with a admin as a username password, and you can see my ActiveMQ is running over here, and I have a queues over here, queue documents. Okay, so this is my ActiveMQ is running in my localhost. So I have given localhost and the port number for the TCP. And if you have a username password, you can provide the username password over here. I'm providing my username password over here. That's it. So mainly you need to configure these libraries, provide the broker URL, and provide the username password over here. Click on test connection if you would like to test the connection. Is it successful or not? So if you have provided all correct details, it is going to give success over here, the test connection. Let's wait for getting tested this test connection. Now you can see test connection successful. Click on OK and click on OK. That is the second step we need to do. The third step is, if you see that second step is done, the third step is publish component we need to drag and drop. Go to the message flow. Under JMS, I can see these are the components. I will explain each and every component in my next video. I'm going to explain over here publishing a message in the queue. So for publishing a message, that means if you want to put a message in the queue, you need to drag and drop this publish component over here. From the connector configuration, you need to select JMS connector. And the fourth step, if you see here, you need to set a queue name. Where exactly you want to put a message, that queue name you need to provide. I want to put a message in this queue underscore documents. Oh, come on. So queue underscore documents. This is the queue name which I'm going to provide as a destination. And make sure that the destination type should be queue over here. And the data will go as a payload data, whatever payload it contains. that data will go into the queue. Save it. Once it is done, if you want to see the response as successfully publish the message, you can put a transform message over here, and I'm going to say that JSON, and I'm going to say status success. And if I want to publish a message, I need to send a message event from my Mulesoft. So for the sending a message event or creating that event, I use a HTTP listener over here so that I can send a data through this listener. So I'm going to create a connected configuration over here, leaving as it is the default values, localhost 8081 as the port, and the path I'm going to say message as my path over here. That simple it is. So with this flow, we can publish a message in the queue. Let me test it this. Right click, run this project. While it is running, let me show you the HTTP request, how I can pass it. I'm going to use the postman to send a message. Publish message, I'm going to use this one. Localhost 8081. HTTP listener path I have given as class message that I'm going to give. And in the input, I'm going to send a JSON data with a document ID is this one. Document name is address proof. This is the message I want to put it in the queue. Okay. And the queue is this queue underscore documents. In this queue, I need to put a message. If you see there are no messages as of now, once I test it, it should be there. Now it is deployed. Let me go back to the postman and submit this request. As soon as I submit, I got a successful response. That means the request has sent. As soon as I click on submit, the request has sent it over here. Event will be generated. That will come over here and it will establish the connection with the JMS, and then that means active on queue. And then it is going to publish a message in a queue underscore documents queue with the payload, whatever it is there. The payload is what I have sent it over here. That will be the payload. Now, if I go to the queue now, refresh this queue, and you can see number of pending messages is one it is showing, and I can see that message by clicking on that. You can see this is the message ID over here, and the correlation ID is this one. And when I click on this message, I should be able to see that actual message data, what it is there over here. This is the message which I have sent it through the HTTP listener, right? So the same data will be stored in the queue. It will be stay as it is till you consume this message. This is the advantage. So till you consume this message will store it in the message queue and will be available to consume it. So that simple it is. The message queues are used for storing the messages, and it will have a reliability on delivering the messages. I'm going to repeat again. What are the steps we need to perform? Add a JMS dependency over here. And second step is creating a JMS configuration. Creating a JMS configuration over here by selecting these dependencies and providing the broker URL and username password. The third step is I'm going to use a publish component to send a message to the queue. And the fourth step is configuring the destination, and the destination is the queue name and what message I want to send it on. I hope this is clear for everybody. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, NetBook. Thank you. See you in the next video.